The studio lights shimmered, casting a warm glow over the expectant audience, buzzing with excitement. A Hollywood legend was about to take the stage, and everyone assumed the night would unfold as any late-night interview. Friendly banter, rehearsed smiles, polite applause. But no one anticipated the storm about to break, a moment that would expose more than just the sharpness of wit. It would reveal the weight of a lifetime spent building a legacy. Sylvester Stallone, the man who had become synonymous with grit, determination, and cinematic heroism, was walking into a test that was far greater than lines or laughs. He was walking into a war of words. The jazz band faded, leaving only the low hum of anticipation. Jimmy Kimmel appeared, his signature grin in place, perfectly poised to host what everyone assumed would be a typical night of entertainment. "Tonight we have a very special guest," he announced, his voice smooth and teasing. "The man who made mumbling an art form, Rocky himself, Sylvester Stallone." Applause erupted, the audience cheering, the lights flickering across faces eager for charm and spectacle. Stallone appeared, a quiet force of presence, dressed in a sharp black blazer over a deep maroon shirt. Every movement carried the weight of decades in Hollywood, the aura of a man who had fought his way from nothing to immortality. He waved politely, taking his seat beside the host with a calm, measured grace. "It's good to be here," Stallone's voice rasped, gravely yet steady. Kimmel leaned forward, teasing immediately, setting the tone with humor sharpened by provocation. The audience chuckled as Jimmy joked about wisdom, unintelligible syllables, and even a protein shake. Stallone smiled faintly, a flicker of amusement crossing his eyes, yet the tension beneath was already building. Their banter danced on the edge of respect and challenge. When Kimmel pressed about the new movie, asking if it had plot or just flexing, Stallone's reply was steady, precise. It was a story about redemption, about confronting ghosts, about real-world pain. The laughter faded, replaced by a palpable hush, the air thick with something unspoken. A line had been drawn. Stallone's calm demeanor contrasted sharply with Kimmel's teasing, the room shifting with every measured word. "Sometimes pain needs muscle," Stallone said, his voice carrying both literal and symbolic. As the dialogue progressed, the exchanges became a duel of wit and principle. Kimmel pressed, probing Stallone about sequels and formulaic roles, questioning relevance and public perception. Stallone's responses were deliberate, calm, but piercing. He reminded the room, and the millions watching, that his stories, his characters, carried meaning beyond spectacle. Each line he spoke resonated with lived experience. Struggle does not expire with wealth. Scars remain. Lessons persist. The audience was drawn into the tension, every pause and glance charged with anticipation. Stallone's eyes, steady and unwavering, confronted the casual irreverence of the host, signaling that this was no ordinary interview. And then, the pivot. Kimmel tried to reclaim control, smiling and probing, but Stallone's words carried gravity. He spoke of Rocky, of hope, of the millions who saw themselves in the character, of the reflection of human resilience on a silver screen. The studio grew silent. Even laughter felt brittle, restrained by the weight of truth. Stallone had shifted the narrative. No longer was he merely a guest, he had become a mirror to the audience, to the host, reflecting what courage, consistency, and authenticity looked like in a world that often rewarded spectacle over substance. The tension became almost unbearable. Kimmel's jokes, intended as light-hearted teases, fell flat. Stallone's calm yet commanding presence filled the room. He stood, slow and deliberate, a motion that silenced murmurs and captured attention. The movement was symbolic, a man who had endured everything, asserting his right to be heard and respected. "I've taken enough," he said, voice even but filled with undeniable force. "And I've given enough to this industry, to this audience, to the spirit of what real storytelling is about." The room gasped. Cameras captured the moment in wide shots, close-ups, the audience frozen in a mix of awe and realization. As Stallone walked toward the curtain, he turned one last time, eyes scanning the studio, lingering on the crew, the audience, the host. There was gratitude, quiet dignity, and an unspoken message. This is the essence of true legacy. The camera followed him awkwardly. The contrast between the poised actor and the fumbling host highlighted the clash of values and priorities. Backstage, stunned crew members exchanged glances. One young intern whispered almost reverently, "Thank you." Outside, social media erupted. Hashtags began trending. Memes circulated, capturing the stoic power of Stallone standing with quiet authority. The caption declaring, "Strength isn't loud, it's..." The aftermath lingered. The conversation rippled across platforms, debated in articles, dissected in podcasts, shared on forums. Everyone watching had been made to reflect. What does it mean to respect experience, to honor resilience, to recognize when words cut deeper than intended? Stallone had reminded the world that entertainment is more than laughs. It is influence, it is morality, it is narrative shaping reality. Kimmel's casual jabs faded in memory. What remained was Stallone's unwavering presence, the embodiment of dignity, and the reminder that some battles are fought not with fists, but with principle and restraint. In the end, the night became legend. Stallone didn't need to shout. He didn't need to dramatize. Every movement, every glance, every carefully measured word carried weight. He walked off a stage, yes, but he walked into history, leaving behind a message that transcended a single interview, that sometimes the loudest statement is made not in volume or spectacle, but in quiet, resolute strength. As viewers reflect, we are reminded that even in the world of Hollywood, where glitz often overshadows substance, moments of truth remain. Stallone's legacy is not only in the characters he created, but in the courage to assert dignity in the face of mockery, to protect the integrity of one's story, and to challenge a world that too often mistakes charisma for virtue. The echoes of that night, the tension, the applause, and the silent understanding continue to resonate, not as controversy, but as testament to what it means to stand tall, unapologetically, in your truth. And so, the cameras may have stopped rolling, but the impact of that night lives on. For Stallone, it was a reminder of every battle fought, every script written, every character born from struggle. For the audience, it was a lesson in the subtle power of presence, the weight of lived experience, and the resonance of authenticity in a world often deafened by noise. In the quiet aftermath, the studio may have emptied, but the world had witnessed something rare. A hero, on stage, not fighting for fame, but for respect, truth, and enduring dignity.